I never realized how slowly a person can lose themselves until I heard the one sentence that shattered whatever was left of my patience. It happened on a rainy Thursday, sky gray, streets wet, the kind of day that makes you want to crawl into bed. I had just walked through the front door, my coat still dripping, when I found a receipt on the kitchen counter, a receipt I had never seen, from a restaurant I had never been to, for a dinner he swore he was too tired to attend. When my boyfriend, Aaron, walked in behind me, humming like he hadn't just lied to my face the night before, I held up the receipt and asked, "Who were you with last night?" He didn't look guilty. He didn't look nervous. He didn't even look surprised. He smiled, that calm, practiced smile he always used when dismissing me. "You're doing this again? Overthinking. Weren't you supposed to stop that?" I stared at him, feeling my pulse rise. "Aaron, this is from 9:42 p.m. You said you were home by 9:30. He sighed, a long, heavy sigh that made it seem like I was the problem. "You really need to relax, Leah. You know how your brain works. You jump to conclusions." There it was, the line he used every time he wanted to shut me down. You know how your brain works. You jump to conclusions. You always imagine the worst. But I wasn't imagining the worst. The evidence was sitting right there on my kitchen counter, still warm from the dryer cycle he threw it through. That receipt didn't break my heart. It didn't even make me angry. What broke me was the realization. He wasn't scared of lying to me. He was confident I'd stay silent. And for the first time ever, instead of arguing, instead of begging, instead of explaining myself, I whispered, "Okay." He thought that okay meant I was giving up. He had no idea it was the beginning of the end. The world adored Aaron. They loved his calm voice, his easy charm, the way he volunteered at neighborhood events. People said, "You're lucky. Men like him are rare." If only they knew. Behind closed doors, he had a quiet talent, a way of twisting things without raising his voice, without lifting a finger. He didn't yell. He didn't throw things. He didn't explode. He didn't need to. He used logic, soft tones, measured sentences. Whenever he hurt my feelings, he'd say, "Leah, you're overreacting. You always take things too seriously." Whenever I caught something suspicious, he'd murmur, "You misunderstood. You read too much into things." Whenever I remembered something clearly, he'd shake his head and whisper, "Are you sure? You confuse dates all the time." And the worst part? He said it gently. So gently that I started believing him. I began apologizing for things I didn't do. I lost confidence in decisions I used to make easily. I stopped trusting my own intuition because his voice was louder than my instincts. I didn't tell my family the truth. I didn't want to explain something that sounded so subtle. How do you tell someone, "My boyfriend makes me doubt my own memory"? My boyfriend smiles while he manipulates me. My boyfriend twists every argument so I'm the one apologizing? You don't. You stay quiet. Or at least, I did. Until the night the receipt landed in my hands. That night planted a seed in my chest, a small, quiet voice saying, "He thinks he knows you. He thinks you won't fight back. He thinks you'll stay silent forever." And that voice started growing, fast. 3 days after the receipt incident, something else happened, something he couldn't twist. I was cleaning the living room when I noticed his phone buzzing repeatedly on the table. The screen lit up with the name just the letter, nothing else. He always kept his contacts organized, full names, even emojis sometimes. But J? Just J? I picked up the phone. I didn't unlock it. I wasn't snooping. But another message popped up right on the lock screen. "Last night was amazing. Same time Friday?" My stomach dropped. When Aaron walked into the room, stretching like he'd had the best nap of his life, I showed him the screen. He blinked once, then he laughed. Actually laughed. "Leah, you're unbelievable. This is why we fight. You overreact without thinking." I raised an eyebrow. "Who is Jay?" He smirked. "A coworker. And relax, that message isn't what you think." I stared. It literally says, "Last night was amazing." "Yes, because we had a great meeting. You know how sarcastic she is." My voice tightened. "So she sends sarcastic texts at midnight on a Friday about how amazing it was?" He stepped closer, brushing my hair behind my ear like I was a child throwing a tantrum. "You see patterns where there are none, Leah. You get emotional and then everything looks suspicious. Stop doing that." I froze. Not because of the lie, but because he didn't even try to make it believable. He thought I was too scared to push back, too conditioned to question him. He thought he had me perfectly trained, but as he walked away, I stared at the phone again and realized something crucial. Liars who rely on manipulation always make the same mistake. They underestimate the moment you finally stop believing them. And that moment had just happened. I didn't plan revenge overnight. I didn't scream or break things. I started with questions, silent ones. Questions I asked myself, not him. Why was he so confident? Why didn't he worry about getting caught? Why did he think he could twist anything? The answer came a week later. I was searching for a binder in his office drawer when I found a small notebook tucked under a stack of files. I opened it. My heart stilled. Inside were pages of observations about me. If she hesitates, steer the conversation. She'll doubt herself. Use calm tone. Makes her feel at fault. Avoid direct lies. Redirect instead. When she starts connecting dots, compliment her, resets her. If caught, accuse her of overthinking. My hands shook. This wasn't accidental manipulation. This wasn't misunderstandings. This wasn't harmless deflection. He had a strategy. He had literally written a handbook on how to control me. Then I found the second notebook. This one labeled J. Inside were receipts, notes, small taped-in reminders, dinner reservations, bar tabs, hotel confirmations, all from nights he worked late, all signed with a little scribbled heart next to the letter J. When I say my world went quiet, I mean silent. No tears, no yelling, no trembling, just cold clarity. He didn't just cheat. He didn't just manipulate. He crafted a system, a method, a routine built on my silence. But he forgot one thing. Quiet people don't stay quiet forever. Sometimes the quiet ones are just gathering ammunition, and I had enough ammunition to bury his entire web of lies. But I wasn't going to confront him at home. He'd twist it. He'd flip it. He'd use those stupid notebook techniques on me. No, I was going to expose him in a place where his tricks had no power. And I knew exactly who could help me. Someone he listened to. Someone he respected. Someone who saw through him long before I did. His older sister, Alyssa. Alyssa was sharp, direct, zero nonsense. She had warned me once, early in our relationship, "Aaron is charming, but don't let him talk circles around you." Back then, I brushed it off. Now, her words echoed inside me, so I asked her to meet for coffee. When she arrived, she immediately noticed something was wrong. What happened? I placed both notebooks on the table. She flipped through the first one slowly. Her expression didn't change until she reached the page. If caught, accuse her of overreacting. Her jaw clenched. Then she opened the second notebook, saw the receipts, saw the hearts, saw the dates he lied about. She closed the cover and looked at me. "Leah, this is not normal. This is calculated." I nodded. "I know. That's why I need help." Alyssa didn't hesitate. "What do you want to do?" "I want him to face the truth, and I want him to face it in front of people he can't manipulate." She smirked. "I know exactly who to invite." 2 days later, she organized a family dinner. But it wasn't a dinner. When Aaron arrived, expecting wine and appetizers, he walked into a quiet dining room with his mother, his sister, his uncle, and me. The notebook sat on the table. His mother spoke first. "Aaron, sit." He frowned. "What's going on?" Alyssa slid the notebooks toward him. "Explain." He opened the first one. The color drained from his face. He flipped through the pages quickly, too quickly. "That's not what it looks like." I stood up. "Then tell them what it is." He swallowed hard. "Leah, can we talk outside?" "No." His mother's voice cut through the room like a blade. "You will stay here and answer. This is serious." He stared at her, stunned. He wasn't used to a room he couldn't dominate, and the fear that flickered in his eyes was the first honest expression I had seen from him in months. Aaron tried to recover, tried to breathe slowly, speak calmly, regain control, but there was no space for him to twist, redirect, or accuse. Every page in that notebook was his handwriting. Every receipt was dated and signed. He looked at me. "This is taken out of context." Alyssa laughed, short, sharp, cruel. "You wrote instructions on how to manipulate her. What context makes that okay?" He shifted his eyes to his mother. "Mom, you know how dramatic Leah can be. She's twisting." His mother slammed her hand on the table. "Do not do that here." Aaron froze. I had never seen him look so small. She lifted the notebook and read aloud. "If caught, accuse her of overreacting." Her voice cracked. "You wrote this. This is you." He opened his mouth. Nothing came out. Then she opened the second notebook and held up a receipt. "You lied to her, repeatedly. To us. To everyone." He finally whispered, I didn't think she'd ever find this." I stepped forward. "No, you didn't think I'd ever stop being quiet." His eyes softened for a second, or maybe he just panicked. Leah, please, can we just talk?" I shook my head. "No more talking, I'm done." He reached out instinctively like he could pull the words back, but I stepped away. For the first time since I had known him, he was the one left speechless. No calm tone could save him, no gentle logic could twist this, no quiet manipulation could rewrite the truth on the table. His sister closed the notebook. "This ends now." And with that single sentence, his entire strategy, his control, his lies, fell apart. I left that night, not in anger, not in chaos, not in tears. I packed quietly, quickly, effortlessly, because once the illusion shatters, you realize how light freedom feels. Alyssa helped me load the car. His mother hugged me, whispering apologies she didn't owe. Aaron stayed inside, upstairs, door closed, too ashamed to come out, too cornered to say anything. For the first time in years, the silence was peaceful, not heavy, not confusing, just clean. Over the next few weeks, I rebuilt myself. I slept better, ate better, started laughing again, stopped second-guessing every small decision. The fog lifted, and the world felt clear again. One morning, I received a text from Alyssa. "He's in therapy. He told the counselor everything. He said you leaving scared him more than anything." I stared at the message, not with satisfaction, not with regret, with closure, because my revenge wasn't loud, it wasn't dramatic, it wasn't cruel, yes, it was simple. I let the truth speak for itself. People think manipulation always looks like anger, shouting, broken dishes, but the most dangerous kind is quiet, soft, almost gentle, the kind that makes you doubt your own memory, the kind that makes you apologize for things you never did, the kind that convinces you your instincts are flawed. If someone constantly tells you you're imagining things, you're overreacting, you misunderstood, be careful, you're not dramatic, you're not sensitive, you're not confused, you're being conditioned, and the most powerful revenge isn't catching them in a lie, isn't exposing them online, isn't shouting or fighting. The strongest revenge is clarity, seeing the truth, walking away, letting their own actions destroy the image they built. Aaron didn't fear losing me. He feared losing control. And when I stopped explaining, stopped defending, stopped staying silent. He lost everything. So if you're listening to this, trust your instincts, trust your memory, trust the discomfort, and most importantly, don't let anyone convince you that your truth is an overreaction.